difficult time here for everybody, but athletics no exception. Do you want to talk about just how the coronavirus and the spread of it has kind of impacted your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a whirlwind of, I mean, 10 days, I guess. Last week we had practice on Thursday. Then I think that night was when it all kind of, the NBA and all that stuff kind of started. And then we got word from our athletic director that we were going to have a meeting, and this was the route they were going, just suspending everything. So I think there was a little bit of hope there that there might be, you know, NSIC championships or something. But honestly, in our sport, it's hard because we don't have conference matchups. So I knew it was going to be difficult, but there's still that glimmer of hope that we might have some sort of season still, and we relayed that to the kids, just to keep training, keep staying motivated, and then. Sunday, I don't know, maybe at 8 or 9 p.m., I saw something on Twitter, and, the NSIC had decided to cancel everything, which is probably, truthfully, sports aside, was probably the best decision, based on everything that's going around and the uncertainty and, everything that this, pandemic is creating, anxiousness and all of that. So it stinks for our kids, especially for our seniors. I feel for them. You work so hard to get out there and compete. But at the end of the day, I think that we explained to our men and women that is a little bit bigger than sports, and right now this is the right decision.
What does your kind of day-to-day look like right now with the athletes not being able to be on campus?
Yeah, so right now, at least for distance, I've given them the week off, and then for our event coaches, I left it up to them at their discretion of what they want to do. So, everyone's home right now. School is online until April 5th. I just thought it was a whirlwind of emotions and roller coaster ride that then finally say, hey, we're not having a season. It'd be hard to just keep your foot on the gas like we had asked them, Friday night, and I think we just need to take a step back right now and recollect ourselves. And obviously the CDC and all of these other agencies are asking for different things. So I told all of our kids, take care of yourselves, obviously be safe, watch your health, wash your hands, just basically everything that they're asking. So for me, I've just been, I guess, trying to wrap things up. It was a lot of canceling hotels. We were planning on flying quite a few places, so getting into contact with the airlines, making sure what that looks like, what their policies are, just kind of wrapping things up there. And I guess somewhat an early start to what I would be doing in the summer is what the last 48 hours have been.
The NCAA did say that they would start granting some eligibility waivers for athletes to extend another season because they missed time this year, obviously. Do you see, and obviously it's still very early in the process, but do you foresee some of your athletes taking advantage of that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've talked to a few of, I talked to a few, and I think it was just so fresh. The wound was cut right open that it was hard to make any decisions right away. But I think it's good that the NCAA has granted the option if you do want to return. I know there's a lot of unknowns right now. We had a staff meeting this morning to kind of talk about that. So there's still some questions that I know a lot of coaches have, that I personally have, and once we kind of get those answers, and I'll relay that to the kids, I think it'll be a little bit easier for them to decide, hey, this is an avenue I want to pursue. But I do think that it is good that the NCAA kind of decided, hey, this was kind of out of your control. It's not like you blew an Achilles or, broke a bone or anything like that, that they have the option to end their careers the way they want to. Certainly, we had a bunch of seniors that, or all our seniors, I would say, this is not how you imagine your college career going. You dedicate 4 or 5 years of your life to this. And, Coach Merkin always says being a college athlete is like having a second job. So it's a lot of work. You practice more than you compete. Our distance kids are in season 10 months out of the year. So for it to end like this, it was certainly crushing, and I certainly feel for all our kids, not just our seniors.
With any of those possible kids coming back, does that affect recruiting at all looking forward to next year?
That's another question that kind of remains unanswered. I guess right now we're still recruiting. The NCAA has instituted a mandatory dead period right now, so we can't go off campus, and they can't come on campus until April 15th. But we're still texting and emailing, and things that we are able to still do, we're doing. It doesn't affect, our recruiting class that's coming in or anything like that. Certainly, I think there's a few individuals that, should they choose to return, it creates a different dynamic for next year and what our rosters look like in a good way. So again, that's up to the individual, and if that happens, that'll be great for us. I'll certainly be pretty happy, but at the end of the day, I understand that, especially our seniors, they need to do what's best for them. But I don't foresee it impacting recruiting, other than right now that we can't do much.